Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 5 of the anime series One Punch Man. And I was actually kind of surprised, pleasantly so, to see that this one was a little less like laugh after laugh after laugh and action after action after action. This one was far less hilarious than the previous episodes thus far, but it was no less interesting. I was actually really kind of getting into the vibe of, sort of now we're taking this a little more seriously, seeing, of course, Saitama and Genos going up and taking this hero test and all this kind of stuff. And it was actually pretty hilarious that Saitama just leveled the ground with every aspect of that test, seeing him go like freaking, faster than the speed of light, doing the side-by-side lunges and everything, all the aspects of it, the sort of testing the strength. He broke the machines. One guy's holding like this bare head of like what I assume to have been a fighting robot or something like that, and he literally because he's got all these other people making fun of him and everything and looking at him like, oh my god, he looks like a complete doofus. As soon as he's exerting his full prowess, these guys are like leaving. They're like, forget it. We don't stand a chance, And then after all of that, of course, Genos, because of his utmost power, because of his utmost intellect, he completely aces the entirety of it. He gets, class S rank. And what does Saitama get? They think he's got it too, and it's an even bigger S and everything because he doesn't pull the thing all the way out of the envelope. Turns out he's a rank C because he completely, effed up the entire written test portion. But of course, he put it through the roof and broke records with the physical prowess, the fitness version of it. And I just thought it was hilarious that he gets a lowly rank C, and it turns out like Moomin Rider also is a rank C, and he has no seeming drive to want to raise his level and whatever like that. I also found it absolutely fascinating and potentially hilarious, if this is true, my speculations that when they're talking about the grandfather of this kid who was attacked by a monster and was saved 3 years previous, that created this entire sort of organization, this association, he did that because of that. Is this Balls Chin Boy from episode 1 that Saitama saved? Is that what created this hero association thing? That would be friggin' awesome. If he didn't even realize that he was the impetus behind its creation, and here he is only 3 years later after being sort of off grid, and now he's only now just becoming aware of it and becoming aware of having a hero license and everything like that. But whatever the case, he and Genos are officially, ranked in the system by the end of all of this. And the action set piece for this episode was very much they're sort of sparring and testing the limits of, Genos's capabilities. I thought that entire sequence was just balls to the wall awesome sauce, because of course you're seeing Saitama, for all his strength, for all that call to that name, One Punch Man, he does say, like, I can't fly, I'm only human in a previous episode, but we see that this guy is like nuclear, that much ahead of even Genos himself with all that uber power that he wields. And he's like, terrassing this desert mountain region apart all through this sparring match. But Saitama is like faster than the speed of light. He's dodging everything. He's like, he doesn't even have to try to take, Genos down. And at one point, it kind of stalemates, and Genos is like, look, part of the rules are we have to like only end this. We can only come to a culmination when it looks like I'm down for the count. I can't keep going. And then all of a sudden, Saitama gets right up within just like millimeters of Genos's face with the fist, and the entire mountainside behind them is like leveled just from the impact of the the force of the air. When he dials it back, it's just insane. Absolutely. Genos is like, I know I'm so strong, but I'll never be as strong as my master. All this stuff. And then, of course, when they go to get some udon and, they decide to challenge themselves with the spicy stuff, and it's no problem for Genos. Saitama, not so much. He can't really handle it. Are we introduced to this blue-haired guy, a my mask or whatever it is, And he does seem, that's one of the things I like about this series, is that the so-called heroes, from the snack guy who tries to get the drop on Saitama, and we don't even see what happens. We just know, like, he punches Saitama, and the next thing we know, he's like pulp on the ground. He's lucky he isn't just, sort of fronds of body parts and everything. He's lucky he's still alive by the end of it. But this guy basically comes specifically because everyone is, captivated by Genos. Everyone is interested in him and the power he wields. And I guess trying to contain that, they confirm per this, sort of impromptu, just talking to him, through this interrogation, if you will. Are you the guy who leveled the House of Evolution and all this stuff? And so he is on the watch list, whether there is some sort of malevolence behind it. But that's what I'm saying. One of the things I find the most intriguing is here we have these characters, some of which are supposed to be heroic. And in the case of My Mask, he's kind of coming across with this level of malevolence, so there are shades of gray. Even amongst the hero association, there might be, because of competitorship, because of adversarial, feelings toward people and all that kind of stuff, there might actually be villains in the midst of the hero organization, and that to me is absolutely compelling. So I mean, this episode, it wasn't as balls to the wall hilarious, but it was action packed, and there was a lot of great depth that they have built up in this episode alone, sort of digging deeper into the formation of this world and the foundation of this world. And Saitama, it's like Superman is my all-time favorite superhero, but Saitama is a close second. Just 5 episodes in, never before having encountered the manga or anything like that, precursor to this series, just this series alone, 5 episodes, and he's like my second all-time favorite superhero ever. I mean, he basically pushed Batman down one on my list, and he's kind of actually almost chokeholding Superman too for the #1 spot. So yeah, I can't wait to see what happens next. Of course, we leave off with Genos, hey, I'll be back in a little while, and then he comes back with this humongous backpack full of everything. I guess everything he owns, so he can move in with Saitama, because now that they've passed this hero requirement test, of course, Saitama said, if you take the test with me, you can be my official disciple. Now he's kind of backed into a corner. He has to honor that agreement, and Genos is not going to let him forget it. He's going to move right the hell in with him, and that's it. From now on, we're inseparable. So, love to hear from you guys, as I say, what you thought of this particular episode, episode 5 of One Punch Man, if you saw it, if you enjoyed it as much as I did, even amidst not, having nearly as much humor, emphasis on comedy, but I still found it really compelling, There might have been an initial sense of a letdown that I wasn't laughing as much, but I was still glued to the screen and wanted to know as much about what was going on as possible. That's how, I'm invested in this world and its characters. So otherwise, it'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.